All right, we're live. It's weird how fast that can happen. I just push a button and boom, we're live. Let me do that so I don't accidentally show you guys. I think we're live. Let me refresh Twitch. See what it says. Yeah, cool. It says we're live. Let me get some music playing. Um, Hey guys, thanks for watching the VODs. It's cool to see how many people watch the VODs on Twitch after the fact, and then also on top of that on YouTube. So it all adds up. It's really cool. Definitely appreciate it, and thank you guys so much for the comments. All the comments and likes and things, I believe, help the algorithm. So if that's true, then thank you. Oh, wild. Maybe it's. I wonder why this is, because I know for sure that the music was showing up in my Streamlabs monitor earlier, and now it's not showing up again. I wonder if it's because it's YouTube? I don't know. As long as you guys can hear music, I'm happy. Hey, Sarinth. What's up, Justin Beard, John? Okay, you can hear me. Can you hear music, though? Yeah? Okay, cool. Cool. All right. I don't know what's going on with Streamlabs. Abominator. Hello. Coding Caffeine, Chess Solo, Ollie. Oops. Do I need to grab latest? Hey, Tsunami-san. I think I've got latest. Or do I? DeCappy, thank you for the follow. Riprot, what's up? So do I, let me, rather than go in game, let me just work in scene view. That's not as entertaining for you guys. So I'll go in game. So how'd your week go? Did anybody do anything cool for Halloween? Do you have plans for the weekend? What's up? Plan to relax this weekend. Last weekend was not a good one. Well, that's no fun. Hopefully this one is chill. Is my green screen showing? Okay, it doesn't appear to be. I think we're good. Coded Caffeine's plans were to play Eminem, but they're thwarted. I apologize. What's up, Dragon? Plan on doing some more Eminem theme assets later on. Decappy, who is this? Who are you? Vorlark's not doing shit this weekend. Right on. Try a new game called Return to Moria, coding caffeine said. Riprot says, had maybe 5 trick-or-treaters, nothing going on except the warm weather. Oh man, I wish we had the warm weather. It is cold and damp here now. Decamp on Discord, but you knew around here. Oh, right on. Wait, were you the one that made the cool banners? Saren said Cat passed away last weekend with summer weekend. Oh, that sucks, dude. That's a bummer. Yeah, I would just take this weekend to just honestly chill out. When my pupper died, and it's at this point, that's been years. I mean, that's probably, what, 3 years now? And it still sucks. Excuse me. Yeah, but old still. I mean, I was bummed because my little dude, man, he was only 9. It just came out of nowhere, but at least he didn't suffer. I had a cat and a dog that I got in Germany when I was a kid, and the cat, she went the year after the dog, but the dog was a little German Shepherd named Lilo, which is short for Lieselotte. Name of a German queen where we lived. But Lieselotte died at 17, and then the cat, her sister, died the next year at 18. Wild. 18 years. But you guys, with your nice 80, 70, 80 degree weather, enjoy it. DKP said, nope. I made a small diorama of one of the deep concept arts and community content. Okay, cool. Yeah, I was just thinking about the banners because I just saw those and shared them with the team the other day. Oh, how old's your son? 14? Yeah, this is a tough one. What's up, Dark Inside? How you doing, dude? Yeah, I mean, I don't want to be a bummer. All I want to say is, I only say it not to bum you out, but just to, I guess, relate or whatever. Is I still, when I go to bed, a lot of time I'll think about my dog, and I'm like, oh, it's easy to miss him. Things are going good today, Dark Inside. Playing Helldivers 2. It's cool that you're still enjoying it. Justin Beard. Yeah, I was about to say you're always playing Caves of Cud. Oh, let me put on my cool hat. Now it's business time. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Apologies. Is it Wallabusa Wall Wallabusalabas? Wallabu Wallabusalabas. Wallabusalabas. Thank you for the follow. Walla Walla Malafala. Ali, is that some sort of Bahraini magic? Did you just curse us? Ishiwatari. Was meinst du, was ist hier los? Du weißt genau, was ist los. Wir machen ein Online-Computerspiel. Careful, we don't talk about the Bahrain voodoo. Wallabus Alavis. Like Wallaby. No intentional curse. It's my gnome name. That's a wonderful gnome name. Wallabus Alavis. Oh, you think they rhymed it because so it'd be like Wallabus Alabus? Is that what you mean, Ali? I'm getting the cadence wrong. Wallabus Alabus. That's definitely a Bahraini curse. Ishiwatari, you thought I was on the wrong day. Wallabus Alabus. Wallabus Alabus. Well, thanks for checking out the VODs. I'm glad to have you here. Boy, that Monster Energy's a bit much. I'm done with caffeine for the day. It's the password to start the public test. Ollie, don't say that. Don't be mean. Torturing folks. That's what Ollie yells at the server if it acts up. It sounds about right. Lemon Candy says, I'm at a gaming event. I can't stay for the stream, but hope it's a good one. Have a good weekend, everyone. Hey, thanks for popping in. Be sure to tell everybody at your gaming event about Eminem. What's up, Talit? Nick's not here, so someone has to tease him. Fair enough. Only reason why Bjorn hasn't... The only reason why we haven't had a test in a while is because Ollie lost password. Yeah. You know, even with all the games currently testing, I just want to play Eminem. You know what? I appreciate that, Dragon. Just speak the words from the book of the dead. Ollie has a book of the bread. Ollie's a big bread freak. Mark Poops says, just found out about this project and I'm super excited for it. You know what, Mark? It is always nice to have another person in the community with poop in the name. We don't have enough of you guys. Hey, Liz Biscuits. Army of Darkness reference. just speak the words from the Book of the Dead. I got to see the movie Bubba Hotep with what's his face? What's his name? The main actor, Ash. He was there. He was there at the theater. Bruce Campbell. He was there at the theater. Super cool guy, super nice guy. For Bubba Hotep. Hey, Fat Poops. See, I told you. I told you, Mark Poops. We got all sorts of Poops names in our chats. We got, yeah, somebody else mentioned Fecal Finger Paint. Hasn't been here in a while. Bubba Hotep was a good movie. It was fun. It was it was pretty chill. Hey, Scheiden. What? Scheiden. What's it out in German? Well then. Huh? Plural? More than one? Uh-huh. I don't know if Scheiden knows that about their name. Apparently your name means something interesting in German. Ah. A sword's sheath. Believe it or not, there's also slang used for the term sheath. Ishiwatari, Jasmine said that the name Scheiden. Eine Scheide, mehrere Scheiden. Sorry, Scheiden. Just don't hang out around Germans. Scheiden said, interesting. Don't hang out around Germans, you're good. You're good. Oh. It's always weird how that happens sometimes with other languages, isn't it? Oh. You took German in school too? LOL. You didn't take this kind of German in school. Shiwatari said I'm howling. I did not see that before, so thanks, Jasmine. Sehr gerne. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's more polite than slang? It is a word you can use if you're talking to your grandma about vaginas. Well, I mean, my grandma was pretty randy. Sounds like I logged in 1 minute too late. Olgo, we're not that deep in, so just check the first 18 minutes of the VOD and you're good. Leave it to the Germans. Oh, I know. I know, they're free. And you heard me say it, Ishiwatari. You know it's true. What was I even doing before all of this nonsense? Vale Zintar. Alright, enable spawners. Okay. Let's get a little bit more light, I guess. If it works, will it work? I'm pushing the button. Because my green screen's starting to pop in the background. But let's see if we can adjust it a little bit. Okay. I think that worked. Funny enough, I played EverQuest as a young teenager, and my mom was a diehard Q fan and had the hard copies with the book. I'm assuming you Q fan. Hard copies with the books and the map, etc. Nice. Somehow this area you're in looks familiar. I was in here on Wednesday as well. Placing some spawners for some giants, and it was I was mostly just testing to see if they'd be able to move around and not run into problems and stuff, and so far so good. So so now I'm gonna actually start to slap in a lot of placeholder spawners real quick tonight. Bjorn says, so Sean, John NS just posted a hilarious pic in Slack. Apparently every palm tree is a whole palm tree turned upside down, so there's a whole underground tree with leaves and everything. Every palm tree is? Really? Let me check Slack. Is it in general? Where is it? Random, maybe? What in the world? Yeah, something went wonky there. Gigante. Oh, speaking of which, how many people are watching Penguin? What's up, Death by Gnomes? I could definitely see how you thought you entered the world upside down. Penguin's really good. Really, really good. But the thing is, it's being put. It's gonna be put to the test. Looking forward to seeing what happens in the next episode. Are there consequences? Do bad things actually happen in this show, or did they find some way to skirt the bad stuff? Colin Farrell saying "Woik" is so silly. I don't know. I love it, Darius. I actually like it, and I'm pretty critical about stuff like that, but I'm okay with it because I see it as kind of leaning a little bit into the comic book part of, you know what I mean? Like it feels a little bit stylized, right? Bilbo, that would be terrifying. What are we looking for here? We're looking for spawners. $114. If at any point the music's too low or whatever, guys, I'm such a bad I don't want to say streamer. I'm such a lazy ass when it comes to doing things for the stream and getting things set up for the stream, but I actually did between streams. It was either yesterday or today. Because I had the problem where I couldn't see what was going on with the audio, right? I can't see whether or not the music is doing anything in my little mixer here. For whatever reason, it didn't show up on Wednesday. And so I actually took the time to test it because I was going to fix that. And it worked. I could hear the desktop, I could see the desktop audio in the mixer. And then I start to stream because I was running late. I was talking to Bills, one of our environment artists, right up until stream time. And I hop in and start the music. and it's not showing up in the mixer again. So I can't tell if it's too quiet or too loud or just right. So if the music at any point you can't hear it or any of that shit, then just let me know. Problem today was I started streaming and for some reason I was getting my sound back at me when I shouldn't have, but like a 5-second delay. I've had that happen back in the day, Liz. I use Streamlabs desktop. And I've done very little to modify. Like once we got to the point where everybody was happy with the audio, they're like, "Oh, you sound fine, blah blah blah." Then I just stopped touching shit, and that was years ago. So if I sound okay, and you can hear the music, then perfect. We'll run with that. Hey, Bill, I was just talking about you. I was just saying that I went from speaking with you straight into stream and thought everything was working fine. Did I just get booted from? Yeah, that's the only downside to not working in the scene but working on the server is just whenever it bounces I get booted. But it's just so much prettier to work in the work in there instead of working in the scene view. You know what? I'll go to the scene view for a little bit and then be productive, and then we can hop in and look at nice lighting. I'm placing giant spawners. I mean, they're regular size spawners, but they will spawn giants. Yep, Bilth is working on Evergroves this very moment. Load subscenes. Yep, I do have multiple sliders in the bottom right, one for my game, desktop audio, etc. And the monitor, like the equalizer bars were moving before. Wallabus, you really are a gnome, huh? This drink is my favorite. It is Monster Juice Aussie Lemonade. Delicious. Okay, so back to the spawn editor, I guess. Let's disable. Okay, enable. You've never seen Aussie Lemonade? They've got it mostly at the bigger Reva that I go to. Are you a Reva shopper, or where do you shop? Are you a Lidl shopper? Are you a penny shopper? What's up, Primus? Need some Topo Chico? No, man. Germans love the bubbly water. I am not a fan of the bubbly water. Mit Gas, ohne Gas. Ich mag Stilles. Don't want to talk about Germans anymore today? Bubbly water is superior. Hey, Zukin. Did I already say hey, Zukin? I feel like I didn't say hey, Zukin again. I just thought it. Shit. Sorry, Zukin. The German language is romantic and pretty. It is. It's like the sounds of birds making love. Or cats choking on something. One of the two. One of the two. Crosses robots name off there. Thanks. Thanks, Steve Buscemi. Sound of birds that are screaming at you because you did not sort your trash correctly. Yeah. Was ist das? I'm glad you're not one of those, Ishiwatari. I'll have you know that I am one of those Germans who I sweep our sidewalk every day. Ollie said, so by mistake I ate chicken that has been sitting at room temperature for about 5 days. Bets on what will happen? You're gonna be sending Slack messages from the bathroom all night again? Kumadar, hello. Ollie is doing a chicken cleanse. It all ends up on the same pile. Let's not have any illusions. Yes, it all either ends up on the same pile or is burned in the same place where they burned the trash. Let's get real. Let's get real, people. Bill, earmuffs. Earmuffs, don't listen. But, yeah, all the trash is just burned. I worked with a guy in Sweden who, when he was younger, before he became a character artist, he worked at one of the places where they just burned the recycling. Dozakar says, my money is on nothing will happen. It's dehydrated to not be dangerous if you're not visibly bad. What are you? Huh? Now I'm confused. Eating chicken that's been left out for 5 days reminds me of the movie The Dark Backward. What is that? Bill Paxton eats rotting chicken in it? Oh, wow. Okay, Bilbo, thank you. Bilbo said I'll translate. Okay, Dozakar. Yes. Okay. We're good then. Ollie, you're good. We have professionals here. These guys know what's up. Freaking green screen. The light blasting down on me is no good, and then the green screen becoming visible is no good. I'm just not happy today. If we can fix that a little bit. Later. A disgruntled robot. Some days. Alright, let me know if the green screen is shining through at any point, and then maybe I'll turn the light back up. I just wanted to chill out a little bit, gosh. So when you're ready to actually add a mob to this pathing, you just apply some type of 3D model to it in Magic. Ghastly. Ollie's response, literally, Wallabus. Wallabus magic. Believe it or not, the NPC has already been applied. So what I'm doing, and it's good every once in a while because folks, some folks actually haven't seen this in action. This is, all of this is just being, basically it's just an interface to our database. It's saving out into the DB, and it's already got a NPC associated with it via our NPC spawn group. So we can associate a group, one or more NPCs with a spawn point, and then they'll do this wandering around, or in this case, walking between these points when they spawn. So, and if I had not just been kicked out of game because the server bounced, I would be doing this in game, and I can just reload the data on the fly, and you'll see the NPC walking around. So, pretty quick process. Hey, Mealist, how you doing? It has been a while. Did I ever put the request in for the model to be showable in this mode? Liz, I did, but the request has not been honored yet. And I was just talking about that the other day with somebody. I was talking about the fact that you had that brilliant idea. Shocking? Why shocking? Mila says, good man, been busy working on authentication for my game and trying to get a bunch of node code hosted. Shocking that it's not been done yet. Yeah, I mean, we've got higher priority stuff. Don't be fooled. We have some stuff going on. I know you're kidding. Hey, thanks, Milas. We could convince you with a playtest. Oh, man. That's so tempting. Sent a pic of the completed first square. Nice. Let me see. Oh, wow, that's so crazy. That's so much work. Can I show it? If you saw the kind of craziness it takes to make one of these, your mind would be blown at how much work this is. Yeah, I'm going to show this as well. Because you got all these dang... This is how she makes this stuff. That's insanity. Who's got the patience for that? Will there be any tie-ins with the racial skeleton Zukin was working on with necropets, like tagging bone chips to be tied to a race, summoning a skeleton of that race, or summoning a pet based on your player race? With the additional assets that Zukin has bestowed upon us, I bet we could probably do some stuff like that. Ishuitare? What did you do? Was hast du gemacht? Och nein. Och nein. Dark Inside says, I had the worst hookup ever last night. Never again. She clearly didn't shower before as her hair was greasy and smelt. And oh my god, I need to wash my bed sheets, blanket myself, and my clothes. I've come to realize that it's not for me and my friend was wrong. It does not boost confidence. It just made me want to stay single for a very long time. Well, now you have that realization. Yeah, learn to appreciate the quiet, the singleness. There's nothing wrong with it. As Liz said, as long as you're happy with yourself, being single is fine. I've been single most of my life. Yeah. Though I've got to say, it took me a long time to get comfortable being single. It really did. And then, at some point, I found Jasmine, and she is awesome. I need to refresh Twitch. Twitch is... I'm assuming we didn't crash. Oh no, maybe we did. Maybe we did. You guys still out there? Bueller? Okay, there you go. Yeah, shit's just like it was just spinning. I don't know. Some of our messages are not showing up and you're scrolling banner for whatever reason. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. That was happening to like Zukin last time, I think. Decappy says, as someone who's 10 years in a relationship, I sometimes miss the peace of mind you have when you're single. Yeah. I'm sure everybody feels that way every once in a while. How many unique models are you targeting to have per zone? I know you're reusing stuff, but in general. We're doing a lot of reuse initially. As the game gets a bit older, we'll backfill and maybe change some things up here and there. But in terms of like absolutely unique to the zone type models, not a ton. I know that's not a very quantitative answer, but that's what I got for you. Not a ton. What zone am I working on at the moment? Vale of Zintar. Modeling stuff seems to be a bottleneck in general. Essentially, art is one of the things that does take a fair amount of time. Who is Zintar? It is a region. Mela says, I've not been able to enjoy a real playtest, having 2 babies, a 4-year-old, wife, dog, 2 cats, 3 chickens, house, side project, work. Time is precious commodity. I hear ya. Well, you know what? That makes me appreciate you being in here all the more. Zintar the Sailor? Zintar the Sailor Man? Is that what you're talking about? So, I'm going to start populating this other side here. We've got like this ground level track done here. We'll stay ground level. We'll go over here, knock that out, and then work my way up to the various tents. And see how that goes. Ghastly and Liz's, among others, chats are not showing up in a scrolling banner. Twitch probably has done some changes lately. I wouldn't be shocked. Twitch is having kind of a rough time lately. I don't know. Maybe if they refresh Twitch, it'll have an impact. Maybe. But it's still cool. You seem to read the chat box here, so you don't catch all the messages anyways. Yeah, I don't see the scrolling thing. That's kind of facing you guys. I'm always, I've got another monitor up over here that's mostly you guys. Should put some will-o-wisp at the top of the pillars to annoy people like they did in Plane of Air. They're so far up there. Hey, Checks. Liz, if you refresh, see if your chat pops up into the little thingy. If not, maybe I'll restart it. You do that, and when it doesn't change anything, then I will refresh the that little thingy and see what happens. Oh, you mean, yeah, it's still going. Goblin Archer's up top too? Dude, it is so far up. You don't understand how big these things are. I'll go in game in a few minutes if you stick around and show you just how huge this shit is. It's big. So this path is so long that I've got to actually increase my gizmo culling just to have it show up again. Interestingly, 2 came up, but not all. Illuminati confirmed. Yes, Fabrizio. So let me refresh the this element down here and see what happens. Horizontal chat. We'll see if that fixes stuff when you guys start talking again and it comes back up. Ishuitari asked, so Sean, when is the M&M miniature war game coming out? I've had it with Warhammer franchise up until recently. Can you step in and fill the void? All the assets you need are there. Multiple races, faction. Oh, but Warhammer's so cool, man. The background, the story, all the beautiful, beautiful books they have. Now no chat's showing up. I broke it. It's not working anymore. I broke it. There we go. Now I fixed it. I fixed it. Just buy the old stuff and play the old stuff. If you don't like the new stuff, if you don't like what companies are doing with some of the new stuff, just check out the old stuff. The old stuff still exists. I mean, I think Wizards of the Coast a bunch of goofballs at this point, but that's not going to preclude me from tracking down wonderful, wonderful old modules and handbooks and stuff and loving the shit out of it. You often mention your love for old school adventure modules. Did you ever read play Enemy Within from Warhammer Fantasy, one of the best ever written? Let me see if it's in... I will say no, but let me see if it's within my grasp. So, Warhammer Enemy Within... I will... Cool. I will take a look. I'll see if it's somewhere around. Maybe increase that to 35. Let them hang out there a bit longer. Well, no, I don't. Yeah, he may wind up clipping through the wall. So, you know what I'm going to do instead? I'm going to go here. I'm going to move to click. here. I have him go around the whole thing. Here. Why does he do that? I don't know. Now that I think about it, I don't know. But I just figured it'd be fun to mix it up a little bit. Not quite sure what his motivation for walking around this side is. But he's going to. If that feels weird later, then you know what? Then I'll just change it. And from here, he will go home. Going home. The more I think about stuff, the more I'm like, you know, different franchises and games and all that stuff. I think there's nothing wrong with the old stuff just being the better stuff. We don't always need new good stuff. Just let the old good stuff be good. Hey, Tupac. Even if it's not new to you, it's good enough. Talking yourself out of a job? No. Because here's the thing. If the new stuff that we're doing feels as good as the old stuff because we're staying true to the old stuff and we're not trying to subvert expectations and put our little stank on everything and modernize it, then you may play it and go, you know what? For being new stuff, this is as good as the old stuff, and we do like it. Now, that's going to be up for you to sort of determine. We're going to try our best to, you know, make it as good as the old stuff with a bunch of new, and then you can let us know. Are you able to do conditional pathing? Something like every 5 loops take this alternate route instead? We are. It just takes a little bit more work, and for this type of base pop, it's more about quantity than complexity. So maybe the folks at WotC think that too. I like a second edition the best, but there are some good things about newer edition. I'm not saying that there's not any new good things about new stuff. I just think there's a lot of new stuff that I don't like. So then there's so much old stuff that I'm like, okay, cool. But if I were to hear that there's like really, really badass new stuff, like if you were to make a brand new tomorrow, new Star Wars movie, and everybody was like, you know what, this feels like the old stuff, it's badass, then maybe I'd appreciate it. But for the most part, I just don't even care. Rogue One, I think, is maybe the last new one that I've seen. Does that one end with like a lot of everybody dying kind of thing? Spoiler. I'm trying to remember. Ends where a new hope begins. Yeah, I think that's the one I'm thinking of. I watched that one and I thought that was good. I'm trying to think. In the original Star Wars movies, were there any cameos beyond Billy D. Williams? Was Billy D. Williams like the only cameo? And that wasn't until what, the second movie? I mean, James Earl Jones's voice, kind of a big deal. But still, in terms of cameos, Epic Fail PD. Every time I see your name, I think of the rap group EPMD. I don't know why. Very funny. It kind of confuses me for a minute every single time I see your name. Sean's still gangster to this day. I mean, you can move the boy out of the hood, but you can't get the hood out of the boy? I don't know. Hey Sparrow, I'm trying to be more consistent, as apparently are you in your attendance. You stopped showing up consistently, so I just stopped streaming. That's what happened over the last couple of months. I blame you. Everybody blames you. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I enjoyed some EPMD when I was a youngin'. Oh lordy. Oh lordy, thank you for the follow. Yeah, you know, don't crack under the pressure, Sparrow. Zukin asked, Robot, what would you say to people who might say the old stuff was fun for the time, but it's 2024 now and those old games are more tedious than fun in hindsight? I would say that if that is true for you, then it is true. But I don't believe that it is a universal truth. And if I believed that it was a universal truth, say for example with what we're doing, I wouldn't be doing it. We wouldn't be here. But I do believe that it's really easy, and I've seen that. I saw that, or I could say we saw that a lot with regards to the stuff that we're doing with M&M before people got a chance to come in and play. So for the first, like, what was it? How long did it take before we had a play test? Year and a half, 2 years? Everybody was like, oh, rose-colored glasses, the old design. We just remember it being better than it was. It doesn't really have value. It was just that way because of technical limitations, budgetary limitations. The designers didn't know any better. There weren't MMOs beforehand that did this kind of stuff. So, you know, designers just didn't know, and games have moved on. And that was one of those things. It was like, that might actually be true. We didn't believe so because we were like, you know, we kind of like... We like the feel of playing on P99. We're not complete dummies, and we've kind of assessed, like, do we feel that there are certain benefits to some of these things? And then we got in and started building the game and started playing, and we're like, yep, this feels like we were hoping. And then we've had playtests and people. Now, that's not to say that there aren't plenty of people that have come in and played the game or like disagree with these decisions, and it is too grindy, it's too difficult, it's too opaque in terms of, you know, not giving direction, this, that, and the other thing. But we've had enough people really go, I think it's not just the people that are like, oh wow, I'm enjoying this. The number of people that have come in and with their siblings, with their parents, with their young kids or whatever to check it out, that have come in and been like, wow, this feels like this is the first thing, the biggest compliment we've had, and maybe you guys say it to all the girls, I don't know. But the biggest compliment we've had is like the people that come in and they're like, this is the first thing that's felt like that experience that I had back in the day in like 25 years. And when people say that shit, it's like, okay. Or they're like, man, it's just got such a good vibe, right? And as much as vibe is sort of the general like heuristic for everything these days with millennials and all that shit. I mean, we talk about vibe a lot. It's important. And I will continue to use the sort of not that great, kind of already used too much car analogy about the game. But I do think that it, you know, there are people out there that want to just drive in a Tesla. There are people, and they go fast and whatever. They're cool. They're modern. There are people in there that want to have that muscle car experience, but they want to completely, you know, even if it's an old body of a car, they want it to be completely modern inside. They basically want to sit an old Camaro on top of a Tesla and go. But then there are the people that really appreciate the way the door squeaks and it's heavy as fuck when you open it, and when you shut it, it's just like boom, and it's made of metal. And you can, even before the car starts, you can smell the gas and the oil, and you start that thing up and it's rumbling and vibrating, and you step on the gas and it sounds like a monster. And I don't think you get to have the classic muscle car experience if you just start like, oh, you can't smell the gas anymore, we fixed that, and you know, you can't, don't worry, the steering is new and perfect. And I'm not saying any one of those three experiences is perfect or like the ideal experience or a worse experience or a better experience. I'm saying there are three different experiences. And what we are making is that dirty old muscle car. It's just got some nice new perks in there, and we'll add the little perks. We'll add the, you know, we'll add the nice little things. We'll make it nicer. We'll make it a new experience up until the point where it starts to detract from what makes a muscle car a muscle car. And that is us. Your daily driver is a 55 Chevy truck. Oh. Schmonite, you became so sexy to me just now. Come drive in rush hour traffic with me, and you'll give up that fantasy. You know what? I won't. Well, I mean, maybe I will. 66 Chevelle all day long. I had a 64 Malibu wagon. Eating our sandwiches in our muscle car, exactly. Hey Woe says EQ is based on Toro Mud, which is based on Deku Mud, Abermud, Mud, Zork, D&D, etc., etc. It's a line of inspiration. There's clearly something there we keep coming back to or bringing forward, I guess. Yeah, and it's just reaching in and grabbing and touching a little bit more of that. Robert, I did not miss you. Robert said, hey Sean and folks, making pancakes for me and the wife while listening to the stream. Hello, Roberts. I hope your pancakes are delicious. We had mashed potatoes and meatballs and some jam that wasn't lingonberries for dinner in honor of Sweden. G. Williker said the first playtest I tried, I quit after spending 10 minutes to figure out how to bind spells, but it all sank in a little. It was the second playthrough that I really fell in love with Eminem. That's what I like to hear. I like to hear that you were frustrated as shit the first time, but you still wanted to come back. EQA Nostalgia had a video where he's talking about rage quitting our game. Early on, he had a video where he's just talking about rage quitting the game and going and like, in frustration to his wife. And his wife said something like, Isn't that what? But isn't that why you were playing the game? You wanted something like that, and he's like, yeah, I guess, and then logged back in and had the time of his life. So maybe we need to have some sort of warning. We're like, warning, you're probably gonna rage quit once or twice, but once you get over that hump and you stop being a baby. Since we're a very retro game, we can even like, we can maybe even do some old school Hans and Franz Saturday Night Live because our audience will actually recognize the reference. Stop being a little girly man. You guys remember that reference? We do. We need the offline. We need to add more to the plane of meat. Zukin? Yeah, hear me now, believe me later. I'll pick things up and put them down. Well, Sparrow, since this is all we're talking about weightlifters right now, that is actually very thematically appropriate. Pop plane of pancakes. The halfling plane. The halfling goddess of pastries. Yeah, so we need to put in the Georgia Guidestones of game instructions into the plane of plane of meat. Speaking of dropping spellbooks, have you considered a scribing profession like an Ultima where players can craft and sell spellbooks? Yeah. Yep. Do not be shocked if we do something along those lines. Kind of basically taking research and stuff and making it even cooler. Love to do that. Can't wait till we're able to hammer on a bunch of additional trade skill stuff. I forgot. Some of these guys are going to have pets. That's right. So they're not going to be standing here all by themselves. Nice. That'll be fun. So, but they'll all use the same spawner for now. What I love most about MMM is the granular detail and what I like to call realisms. I love the small things that makes the world more real and more immersive. Appreciate that. There's going to be more of that. One of you, who was it last Wednesday that had the wonderful idea about the furniture in here? And it was one of those things that as soon as you said it, it was kind of like, oh man, that makes so much sense and that's going to be so much fun. No, the Hobbit food is a separate one that we did. That's a different zone. That's we're acting on that one premise. No, when you're talking about the these tents, right? Here, I'll get into game in a minute. And I probably need to make a new placeholder mob while I'm here, so that so I can go ahead and associate with this. So what I'm gonna do is while I'm out here, let me open the DB and make another placeholder NPC for use over here in this stuff. And we'll play with that as well. So go down to our NPCs. Show all. Let's find a wolf, if you will. Wolf, not a yolf. A wolf. A wolf. Alright, this will work. A wolf. I'm assuming a wolf. Why is that yellow? I'm gonna grab one of these. Maybe one of these pet wolves would be good. Which one's a handsome wolf, Zukin? But Primus, to the point of what you're saying, one of our new team members just wrote up a whole bunch of new mud actions. We really want to get a bunch of just fun interaction into the world, and Eric is off to a good start there. Zukin, I want a good base for a wolf. Maybe one of the wolf pets. I'm looking at the color schemes and stuff. I guess we can always change it later. We'll start with one of these guys. Oh, a missive. Oh, because it's Spirit Wolf. Alright. Let's just do this. Let's duplicate here. We're going to say VOZ. Giant Wolf. What's up, Isan? How you doing, my dear friend? We're probably gonna just do, I don't know. Let's get crazy. Let's go 6x on this guy. See what happens. We'll do this. We'll come here. We'll make a NPC spawn group for him. We'll just insert it here. Boom, boom. 100% spawn, because we just want them to always appear. I have a deer friend. Yeah. We'll refresh this over here so that I can find it. Hey, what's up, pretty neat Bob? We'll do this. Oh, I should have been doing it here. We'll do this. Boom. Save. Same thing here. Boom. Save. Do we have any open changes? Yep. Yep. Save those. Cool. You know what we'll do then? Let's see if we can get back in game. Do I need to pull anything to be able to get back? 17 things to pull. Let me pull those really fast then. Guard all this rubbish. And we'll pull latest. See what happens. Let's see. Well, that's pulling. Let me check the output. Done? Are we done? Oh, that's... So it'll do its thing, import all the stuff that I pulled. Question about interactions. Do you think we'll see some clickable lever switch interactions in addition to MUDs, like a switch to open secret door? Yeah. So we have the functionality, and the systems are integrated. So we've already done some testing there. So some of the stuff that we're doing with regards to, like, we've got the torch holders where you can take a torch out of your inventory and put it on the wall, and it like will eat the item out of your inventory and put it on the wall. That's the same system as clicking on a door and having it open and shut. It's the same system as we had a placeholder escalator or elevator that you could click the switch and it would flip the switch, and then you would go up the it was like basically Alia just made a very placeholder platform that went up the wall in Night Harbor. All of those things are using the same sort of trigger and interaction system, and then MUD actions can receive those types of triggers and also send triggers to, you could do a mud action and open a door, for example. Yeah, so we're doing, they're all kind of integrated. They're a fairly modular system, but they're all integrated in a way where it's easy to do that type of stuff. So we could do a thing like I think the old example we gave, I don't know if we've got this in anywhere, but you could like potentially light 4 torches in a room, and then that would make it so that there's a new mud action that's available. Or it could just automatically fire it, but it could make it so that it's available. So one thing could be like you light the 4 torches, it then says you notice something shimmering on the floor, and then you inspect that, and then maybe you do a thing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like Kumidar said, maybe then you have to say something, whatever it is. Then, yeah, I've been wanting to do a door like that for so long. That's actually, it's somewhere in our documentation. There's an actual image of that, Kumidar. Whereas like we've been wanting to have that, based on like a moon phase even, so it can be conditional. Time of day, like, so you have to speak friend at the right time of day. So yeah, that's all there. So we've got a lot of, and it's very simple functionality for us. It's pretty simple. It's all like, believe it or not, it's not fancy scripting or anything. It's all just tableized, right? Like, so what we're talking about are statics and static states. We're talking about zone mod actions. We've got our volumes. We've got our widgets. I've been in Germany too long. Widgets. And all of that can tie into NPCs dying, all that stuff. So the main thing now is we got to get people banging on content. So that's if you notice, Kumidar here in chat is a new designer on the team as well. We've got the gentleman that we've got doing editing and writing. He's also starting to, dip his hands into a little bit of the mod actions and stuff like that. So, and then we've got the rest of us that have been around for a while. So it's just going to be a matter of like, we've got the tooling. Now we just gotta get it done. Did I miss anything? Ghastly96 says, will there always be a manual of possible mud commands available, or will some be hidden from the player? We'll always tell you what the commands are, but we may not. I mean, obviously, we're not going to tell you what you need to do with them. And with stuff like the mud actions, if you guys remember, though some of you, excuse me, you may not have been here. Mud actions are also aware of your states in buffs and items that you have. So you may need to have see and viz. And then over time, I need to talk to Nick about this again, but it would be nice to get more, more actions, or sorry, more buffs in place that are even things like sense evil, or sense good, or sense undead, or whatever. Because then we can, as long as if you've got any buff on you, we can see what buffs you have on you with the system, and then make the availability of that mud action tied to whether or not you have that buff on you, or you're in that state, or if you're in possession of that item. Like if you've done the Enchanter starter quest, you'll see that you have to have a certain item in your possession. If you go into that one secret room without the item, you just look around, it's an empty room. If you go in there with that item, then it teleports you. G Willikers, Kumidar, do you guys know each other? It looks like you know each other. Wallabus asks, might be a Nick question, but any idea of changes to weapon skills may make it to next test, specifically scaling off weapon damage rather than off character level? That is a good Nick question. Maybe an Ollie question. Hit them up in Discord if you're not seeing them here. Okay, so that's that. So yeah, I mean, we've got some cool functionality. We just got to get chomping on the getting stuff in. So, but we're ramping up. Oh, you're just saying hi since he's new developer. Okay, cool. That's very nice of you. Be nice to him now, so that he'll be prepared. He'll have energy for when you're mean to him later. You love the ambient dialogue snippets that you get like outside the Night Harbor gates. Feels very much like a D&D GM talking to you, talking you through a new locale with look. Yeah, so our new editor slash writer actually just did a whole bunch of those for an area as a test, and they're really cool. So I've got the feeling we're gonna get him to do even more. And since our dear new designer Kumidar was also part of the editor writer hiring process, but he's actually doing content. I've got the feeling that he'll be doing more of those soon as well. Robert said, me and Kuma had a 4-hour voice chat about EverQuest last week. It was epic. I can imagine. Dude, Robert, you love to talk about EverQuest. It's so amazing. Yeah, Robert and I might go play some P99 sometime. I mean, you guys are in the same server. You guys got to power level me. Wallaby said, Mud Commands taught me that more things smell like a goblin's bottom than I expected. Well, they put their asses everywhere. They rub their butts on everything. Goblins run animation should be a butt scoot. They probably need like a little butt scoot as like a special anim. / mark your territory. Next NWC game, Power Wash Simulator MMO Edition. Will it be an MMO though? People are like, how is your game different than EverQuest? Well, in our game, the ogre will grab a goblin and scratch his ass with it. That's the animation. That is where we differ. That is the one difference. Other than that, really just the worst EverQuest. So I'm going to reload the zone data, which should give us everything that we just added. At some point, it will reload it. There we go. Quixana, how are you? How are you this lovely Friday? Got the organ playing in the background. Been a good day so far. Nice. Have you had lunch yet? mean, this looks like, you know, it just looks like a normal zone population until you get close to one of these guys. Sitting down with some beans and rice and enjoying the stream. Nice. Beans and rice, delicious. So, yeah. Yeah. What do y'all think giants taste like? Asking for a friend. If there isn't a raid boss at the end of the zone, I'm gonna riot. Well, if you come at these guys at your current level, it's guaranteed to be a raid. Well, that's a long jump. You should have a fall counter for this area because you know someone's going to attempt this at night. Oh, yeah. Can't wait to see where falling off there takes me someday. Nick and I were just talking about this. You're not going to want to see it. You're not going to enjoy it down there. Oh, you're not going to enjoy it down there at all. It's horrifying. Gnome falling looks like a taller getting x-rayed, how their hands are raised. I have very limited experience with toddlers getting x-rays. So I'm gonna take your word for it. I watched like Instagram recommended a video on MRIs, the dangers of like screwing around with the MRI magnets earlier today. And the video went from being kind of normal, like, yeah, that makes sense and you should watch out and you don't want to like mess around, because it was like somebody had a pair of scissors on like a string or, you know, some tubing or whatever, and was like just kind of hovering it in front of the MRI, so that it was like kind of being sucked towards it, and the guy was like, you don't want to do this, don't be an idiot. And then it showed like where somebody, I guess, had wheeled in like a metal bed that then got all smashed into the machine. And I'm not trying to be controversial or gross here, but I mean, you know how the stream is, and it's Friday. It escalated so quickly with the next little snippet. I was not expecting it. It was one of those like, what? Really? I don't know if I sent that one to Jasmine or not, but I think maybe I forwarded it. So it went from like, don't mess around with metal at the MRI, and it's normal shit that you would expect, like someone fire extinguisher or whatever. And then it switched to an X-ray, and I didn't know what I was looking at first, and it said, this individual went in with a metal butt plug and almost died. And the guy just deadpan, like going through the series of events. And you look at the X-ray again, you're like, yeah, just horrific. So anyway, I'll leave you with that image. We'll go back to looking at giant wolves. Oh snap, indeed. It'd be funny to have a giant wolf in the same zone as a giant's wolf, but the latter is just normal wolf with a bandana around her neck and likes to hunt goblins. A giant's wolf. Safety first, please, said disgusting. Tell me more. So I have no idea what's going to happen with the animations on these guys or anything, but oh crap, Robert's cooking. Robert, I'm cooking here. Well, I'm going to let you cook, Robert. As the kids say. They may be a little bit big. Dude, it was in the x-ray was exactly worse than you would expect. Let's see how big these guys are relative to him, though. I'm very curious. Why is this all the way over here now? Wallabies, you asked earlier, was it the incident described as a railgun through somebody? That scarred me. I don't know if that actually came up in that one, but... enable spawners. You should put in a badass giant inferno wolf. Maybe at some point. So what we'll do is we'll save this. We'll reload zone again. We'll see, we'll look at them relative to each other. I think this is 6x. We can ride those big boys, right? These guys are just gonna eat you, I think. But in the future. Hey, maybe that's what ogres can ride. Baby giant wolves. Oh, that's not bad. That seems, that seems pretty on the money. Imagine the size of the fleas on that thing. Boom, good guess. 6x. Not 6x. Bilbo. God. Giant wolf puppy, I think, is the way to go. Giant wolf puppy. Love how big the nameplate is. It's huge. You're right. Because it's scaling, so it is 6 times the size as Chip. Hey guys, I'm really big. It's not a bug, it's a feature. Maybe we should make the base giant smaller so we can scale it up and get the bigger nameplate. Nick was just mentioning wanting min and max nameplate sizes. Would that just be something in like the NPC file or? The Toasty Roach. Thank you for the follow. And beer please too. Thanks again. I think I said it earlier, but we were talking about horrific stuff. I assume it would have to be in data though. So I would assume probably just in the NPC file. Otherwise, it'll wind up being disconnected. You need that size to advertise your coffee shop. You have to pay extra for the ability to make your coffee shop sign that big. The most humble of wolves. His name's that big because his dad always tells him, "Who's a giant wolf? Who's a giant wolf?" That's right, you are. That's his mental image of himself. Pay to win confirmed, absolutely. Okay, cool. So we've figured that out. We've got that. So let's go back to actually placing them. This is actually a great idea. Why aren't there more giant creatures, giant rats stealing from their giant stores of grain? Right? Listen, I have been making MMOs for a very long time. And if there's anything that I know how to do as a designer, it's take a model that's supposed to be one size and make it a different size and then allude to the fact that it is that different size for a reason based off its name. That's basically all you do when you're working on MMOs is make things different sizes, make the character artists angry because you've probably also tinted them the wrong color, and because that's the other thing you can do. And the animators are already just over it. The animators are just like, why did you do that? Why? A red tinted giant wolf? Well, in the forest, I'm going to be tinting a bunch of wolves and stuff green, and we're going to see how that works. There's a reason. Zukin. Yes, a gamma irradiated wolf. It's a prototype for our Gamma World MMO. LOL, moss covered wolf. That is exactly the name it's going to have. LOL for sure. That's the name he's going to have. A moss covered wolf. There should be a goblin tribe living on leftovers, stealing from the giants. It's so small that they run through the legs of giants when they steal the booty. We had Sonic Wolves in Luckland. You did. I actually worked in the zone with Sonic Wolves. I worked with Steve in Hollow Shade Moor. Why not the Incredible Wolf? Why not? No, Puke Wolf is not a good name, Tsunami-san. It's been so long since I've read some Gamma World stuff. Wow, this area. These guys are so big, the area is so big that it's like, kind of thrown me a little bit. Man, these guys are big. There should be a miniature zone where we are all giants. There really needs to be. That may be a thing, Sparrow. Just you wait. You want to know why we can do stuff like that, Sparrow? When you think of something like that, you're like, we should do that. And we say, you're right, we should do that because it's our game. We can do it. It's our game. All of us. Right? Every time you step on something, you lose faction. Oh, so anyways, I never finished my... We went from talking about the Giants and the good idea the other day to mud actions to butt plug railguns. And so let's finish the story here. So the idea was somebody on stream on Wednesday was saying when you put the furniture, like if you put a table in here and a stool for a gnome or for a human, that's something you actually hop onto and then hop up again, right? So it's funny, you hop up on the stool and then up on the table. It's a big table and there's like rats up there, but they're normal size. On some stream we were talking about having a zone that required you to be super shrunk to enter, like entering a miniature, like how Plane of Mischief was, a little miniature. Yeah. And you know what? We can do that because it's our game. I love it. Actually, let me shrink that back down to like 70. Do it like this. On pause. Go to, well, we need a new command. It'll be a go to. Move to click. It'll be here. Nope, it won't be there because that's the middle of the damn air. It'll be here. And facing. Here. And then he'll pause for 20 seconds. And then he will go back to wander in volume. And then we'll set this index to 1. So that should work. And we'll give him a high pause chance, like 80% pause duration. We'll do it like 8 seconds plus minus 4. And we'll see. We'll see if that does something nice. So in theory, he'll just wander around here a bit. And then every once in a while, I'll come back and hang out with his people. Dude, I'm so small. I'm so used to working with regular sized NPCs. I will never unhear the sounds of giants. The stomp, stomp, stomp as they run. Yeah. The shrunken zone would have to be really cold. Oh. I swear we're all much taller. It's just really cold in here. My gnome's a grower, not a shower. Is that what you're saying, Ishiwatari? I was watching Pattis' stream the other day, and the new coloring tool he created could build out a snow zone pretty fast. Yeah. In theory. In theory. I was just talking to Bilth about that earlier. We got to play around with some simpler zone designs. Our thing is we get in and we just start going. We start with an idea of a small little giant camp, and next thing you know, we've got this badass zone. So we get a little crazy sometimes. We get a little crazy, don't we, Simon? If you're still out there, we get a little crazy. In all honesty, that looks like a decent giant. We have all sorts of different versions of this guy as well. You're not even seeing him with his beard, his hat. There's all sorts of stuff we can do to the giant. He's very decent. Let me reduce this a bit then. That's too frequent. Do we have a two-headed giant? Wouldn't that be an Etten? Wouldn't a two-headed giant be an Etten? We don't have one yet. But in theory, it shouldn't take us too long to make a Etten. We just have to glue another head on a giant. Boom. Oh, I want to make a shadow giant, Zukin. You can make Etten head glue out of dead Ettens? I don't get the reference, but I'm sure it's something obvious to other people. Would a shadow giant still make the stomping sounds? Should it? Would that be scarier, or would it be scarier if it made a quiet kind of sound? What if it made like a sound that sounds like a stomping sound, but very ethereal? So there's three ways we could do a shadow giant. I was actually picturing a shadow giant being an actual like shader on a giant. Ethereal stomping sound. Listen, it works. Don't. It's for real. Thraki, it makes sense. Honest. I'm a professional. So the shadow sounds delayed, echoed. So I'm thinking we could do the shadow giants in one of three ways. And maybe we make three different NPCs out of these. So one is a giant that just has a shadow shader. So it's just kind of like it's just like our ghost almost, but it's just dark with glowing eyes. So that's one form of shadow giant. It's just this black sort of semi-transparent giant with glowing eyes. So that's one style. The other style is like how we do our shadow people. Like our shadow men and Shaded Dunes. Are you guys, everybody here, aware of that? So we actually have NPCs in game that are literally just a shadow on the ground. So if the sun's moving, yeah, and the sneaky fucks are fast. Yes. Yeah, so we have NPCs that basically look like this. There's nothing there, but you see their shadow, right? And when they're fighting you, you see their shadow fighting you. So we've got that. And then the third NPC would be the same as the second NPC, except except there's like a wisp kind of behind it. So the wisp behind it is blasting lights, and that's where the shadow is coming from. And it's just this wisp blasting out light, creating a shadow. And but it's still a shadow. So 3 and 2 are the same kind of creature basically, except for in 3 there's a wisp that's always making sure that it's visible so it doesn't dissipate and disappear. So those are 3 different monsters. Really like 2 monsters, but one has a wisp as a helper, I guess, to make sure that it always appears. So that was on my mind. That was on my mind. A bunch of shadows on the ground running at me super fast sounds scary and memorable. Well, next time you're in game, go to Shaded Dunes and just walk around the northern wall for a while, and you may actually get to have that experience. So Wisp shadowed Shadow Man, essentially. Yes, Ishiwatari. How are you going to fight these at night? Well, at night, you don't fight. You can fight the first one, because it's got glowing eyes. You can still see it. The second one should go away at night. And the third one, that's what the Wisp is for. That's what Wisps are for. The dark times, the bright times. Why make them go away at night? I don't know if the ones in Shaded Dunes actually go away at night. They're just real hard to see, I guess, huh? They don't? Yeah, sorry about that. Maybe that's mean. I don't know. That might be a bug. It might be a feature. Go to. No, pause. Pause. Why am I dying? I don't know. It's nighttime. I can't see anything. I don't know why that does that sometimes. I don't know, maybe I think it's actually placing the gizmo on the camera gizmo, but I can't even see the camera gizmo. You're looking at the #1 rogue on the server. It can't get you. If Tupac, then TBF, there's a lot of trolly things in M&M. Starting area mobs are actually shape-shifted higher level mobs. I mean, are you not entertained? There's shit in the city that's gonna kill you. I mean, oh, do you not have? I don't know why that. Just the thought of that just brought me so much joy. I was also TBF. What is TBF? The blood puppet's still around somewhere. It's super rare. TBF. What is TBF? To be fair. Oh, that's right. To be fair. Yeah, to be fair. To be fair, there is... And there's going to be more, really. There's really going to be more. Do you think that's a good selling point? Do you think that makes us unique enough? Do you guys have cinematics or dialogue choices? No. But we have mobs that look like newbie mobs that then just kill you. Oh. And you have to get your corpse. It was a cheaper option for us than doing dialogues. A shape-shifted red-tinted giant wolf's shadow. Longest NPC name ever. People who have never been here before, like they've heard about the game, or they're just like, oh yeah, MMO game development. And they're like, I don't know, Martha. I watched the stream for a while. It seemed like it was just trolling the potential customer base. I don't know if that's a good idea. I'm curious about their business plan. So what would an ethereal stomp sound like? A big pump and then it would fade into void slowly? Or maybe it would be kind of like it would be the sound of a backward stomp. I think the newbie art stuff in Eminem version of an onboarding. Think the newbie art stuff is the Eminem version of onboarding. It teaches newbies how to learn to get their corpse well. It's still okay if they accidentally lose it. Yeah, and you know what? That's actually a fair point, and we may lean into that a little bit more even. Like maybe make it easier, because there is some shit when you lose it. It's kind of a bummer. You lose your book like immediately, right? But they're gonna be more options in play to help you find your corpse and all that stuff. I mean, we're not completely horrible. There's some fun stuff that we can do. And build some player interdependencies and stuff. Like identify corpse spell or something. Identify corpse, find corpse, corpse gumbo, butterfly corpse. Can't remember where the stairs. Oh, it's just the place is so big. Cast speed of what? Spell yeet corpse into ocean. That's not very helpful. Worst spell ever. So plans or normal size. What you talking about, Willis? So plans or normal size roamers? Don't forget to spell corpse antics. That allows you to put sunglasses on somebody's corpse and prance them around like it's a party member named Bernie. I think Nick has an idea for a spell like that. I think that's the necromancer temporary resurrection. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we should it should switch animation set. They should just the player character should have the zombie animations while it's in effect. Zukin, can we make that happen? Would that work? Let's see if this guy actually traverses down here well. Very curious. It's kind of an odd. Don't know about that? Probably not then. A boy could dream. Maybe if we hit the big time, if we have subscribers, people are like, what are you gonna do with your money? Well, make it so that the Necromancer Revive actually gives you. You're totally not gonna steal these ideas for your game? Steal away, that's what we're here for. It's all about stealing other people's ideas. Speaking of which, thank you all the games going into early access before us. Wandered into a seedy part of Night Harbor and died so bad that I considered asking the GMs to revive me. Don't know if we can swap animator controllers, but what we could do is make a zombified player prefab and make an illusion. There's got to be a way to hack it. I liked the thought of having actually lost my body. Right? It makes you feel like there's danger. No? Dude, so many people are going to play this game and be pissed off. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad for them that they're not going to be able to hack it. Okay, so something is going on here that's a little weird, I think. Yeah, because he should be coming all the way down, I think. Or did I just do, 10? Oh no, I'm just a dummy. Alright, I just didn't finish my shit. Go home, great. And then set active command 0. Cool, alright, fixed them. Going to gym membership for the next 6 months. I'm gonna be losing this body. Right on, Justin. Do it. All you gotta do is just, you know, a little bit at a time, buddy. Just be consistent. Just do a little bit here and there. Regularly. Just all week. Constantly. And you'll get there. I've got a little gym room in our apartment. Our spare bedroom is actually a gym, so we're lucky. Don't even have to leave the house for it. But what I realized was if I tried to do like it's honestly easier to do 5 or 6 days of like 30 minutes, so like half session, than it is to do 3 1-hour sessions. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm finding is like actually break it down into smaller sessions so that I don't have an excuse and go, man, I don't want to take the hour right now, or oh, I planned to do it and something came up and now I don't have the hour. Like just go up now. If I go up there and I get a full hour, great. Then I'm ahead of curve, right? But just going up and going, I'm gonna do, instead of 6 or 7 different things, I'm gonna do 3. And just get those 3 knocked out. And when that starts to add up every day, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit different if you got to go someplace and stuff. And I know Justin's probably not the easiest for you to get around to different places. I don't know where the gym will be in your town, but, you know. But for other folks, I definitely recommend that. I just need to hop on our sad, lonely Peloton while watching GDC videos. That works as well. But I tell you, for folks that are the least bit interested, it may sound like a gimmick. I've talked about this before, but it's been a while, so I don't mind doing it again. I thought they would be a gimmick, but I read great reviews, and then we bought some like 3 years ago. Then we bought some more. You can get different versions, but we got the Bowflex dumbbells. We started with these guys. And I thought they'd be rickety. I thought they'd be a gimmick or whatever. Nope. Fantastic purchase. Incredible purchase. Because it lets you just dial the knob and then you get different weights. And it's super fast. And that goes up to 52 each. So we bought We bought these in just a bench, adjustable bench, and it's been, I mean, it's the cornerstone of working out for us. And then we wound up having to, before I had the shoulder surgery, had to get these as well just to get a little bit more weight, because they go up to 90 pounds each. But yeah, Check said I have a set of those. They're great. Yeah, it's amazing. They look like they would be bullshit. They're actually wonderful. So that and an adjustable bench, if you've got a garage or extra room or something, it's all you need. Got the power blocks for home. Was looking at something like those as well. Nice to have at home. It's really so much better, for me at least, to not have to go somewhere. I mean, and I like to, the thing is, for whatever reason, maybe it's just because I started following Tom Haverland or whatever on Instagram. I love, this is going to sound so goofy, but whatever. We're here for honesty. I love working out in jeans and a flannel. It just makes me feel, like lifting. Jeans and a flannel. The lumberjack vibe? Yeah, exactly. It just makes me feel, I don't know. Ah, no, I didn't want to do a 300. Let's delete this one. I work out in long pink sweatpants with donuts and unicorns all over them. You can do that as well. Whatever gets you motivated. No shame in it. You're also 193 centimeters. Yep. Again. When I was doing jiu-jitsu regularly, a pair of my wrestling spats, my jiu-jitsu spats, also known as tights, had unicorns on it. Nothing like being triangle choked by a pair of unicorn tights. I'm not that tall though. I'm 188. 193 is, you're a big boy. Or whatever. Simon said tier 1 operator or backwoods dweller. Either one's scary, right? Let me find this guy. If you don't know who I'm talking about, Tom Haverland. Wait, I think he's Australian. The strongest man you've never heard of. Exactly. 6'8". He is so insanely strong, and he works out in just like work shorts or flannels, and but when he's not wearing a flannel, and he's 6'8". What a beast. What is this? That's insane. Monster. Bless him. All right, so where were we? We're 127. And Voss. Yeah, Brian Shaw is huge. But Tom's just got like a badass look. And you never see his face in any of his videos if you follow him on Instagram or whatever. And he does very odd things. Like he's always lifting very strange things. Like, you know, giant barrels filled with stuff and doing weird farmer's carries and all sorts of stuff. Have you ever watched Vladimir Shmondenko Anatoly's prank videos? Yeah, I've seen him. He's wild that he's so strong for being so small. Czech says my dad used to compete in a lumberjack competitive team. They did all their workouts in jeans, flannel, and work boots because that's how they had to compete. That's badass. Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's a vibe. I mean, working out is as much about the vibe as anything, right? Like you got to be in the right mood to do it. And that definitely gets me in the mood. Simon, is there a prop um is there a prop sub scene here? Okay, babies are squawking away. I'm gonna go save my wife. Later's y'all. Hey, Malus, thank you for taking the time. Appreciate it. Sounds like you've always got a ton going on, but it's nice to see you. Enjoy the babies. Is that something that you could set up? I forget if you said it was you that set those up or Panis or whom. Because I think that might be handy because then I feel less guilty like grabbing a prop sub scene and throwing stuff in there. Because I never know what like Mike's doing or you're doing and stuff. That I guess I'm assuming if you're working on his own, you've got it checked out. Wow. Yeah, my posture has been so bad in this chair, but I'm trying to get a little bit better on it. I could use sub scene 2 if I want. Okay. And then I stole, because Jasmine's not using it anymore, I stole her little footboard thing, which is nice. Man, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, because I try to do that sometimes. These days, there are game development discussions that I want to have with you so bad. I don't want to be controversial. I don't want the team to get mad at me. I don't want to get yelled at on Reddit, but Lord. But you know what? Instead, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to keep working on this game. We're going to make our game. We're going to make our game, and hopefully you guys like it. And there's a few of you. And then we can just point to it and go, yep. That's what we're doing. That's how we're doing it. We're doing it different. But really, we're just doing it the way it used to be done. But that's different now. So... using the car analogy, every once in a while, an old car will drive by here in town. Old car will drive by, and it'll just smell like gas, just gas fumes and oil. It'll smell like the way cars should smell. And when I smell it, man, I get so nostalgic, but it also reminds me, I'm like, wait, cars are so much cleaner now. They don't make that smell anymore. And that is a damn shame. We've lost something. Check says, I agree with you, Sean. Sometimes I just sit here grinding my teeth, doing my best not to say anything. I think there are a lot of ground teeth out there. One day we may be surprised. But you know what? The market talks. The market does talk, right? Like if you guys don't enjoy the game, we'll know. If nobody enjoys the game, we'll know. And we're seeing that with other games, right? I mean, entire legacy studios or big companies are feeling it a little bit here and there. What's up, Tom? Tom, I got the feeling that you and we grind our teeth about different things. Everybody's just grinding their teeth these days. Occasional car smelling like that is good. Every car smelling like that is hard on lungs. I don't know, man. My lungs were fine in the 80s and 90s. Part of that is budget growth, refusal to develop within means problems, though. Yeah, part of it. And then part of it is just, you know, not everybody should be making games, and part of it is just sometimes trends emerge that aren't actually what the broader market wants. But on the flip side, it's cool because you have, like, you know, companies out there like Hello Games and you know, weird games that come out of nowhere and do great. Excuse me. What we got going on back here? Some more Robert music playing. Personally, I'm excited because we're returning to a time where nerds are making nerd things for other nerds. It's a painful, shrinking experience, but it's needed. Corthan, I think that's well said. Here, my thing is, I think, you know, different types of people can make things for whomever, right? Like, I look at everything as there's niche opportunities for all sorts of stuff out there. I look at a game, and even if it's a franchise that I used to like or something like that, if it goes in a new direction, I'm like, all right, whatever. But people need to acknowledge that it is more of a niche than it is mainstream, right? You know, like we are people come in here and they talk to us about the game, or, you know, people in Discord will have complaints about the game and they'll say, you know what? Corpse runs, outdated. There should be no corpse runs. I strongly disagree with it. Bad mechanic, blah, blah, blah. And we go, you know what? We appreciate your opinion. And for you, that sounds like that is true. It's the wrong answer for you. You know, going on a corpse run is not exciting for you. You don't want that. And we understand it. Good for you. Tab targeting. You don't like tab targeting. You want action combat. Right on, brother. There is a game out there for you. But what we're not going to do is say our game is we're making a niche game, and, you know, we've been saying that it's in the name of the company, Niche Worlds Cult, right? We're making very specific game for a very specific audience, and we'll see if that audience is big enough to sustain a business, and we'll see if we can grow that audience by appealing to people who maybe didn't realize that they actually like this type of game. But what we're not going to do is think that we're mainstream and then get all pissy and shit on people because other people don't want to play it, right? Like, we're not going to be like, oh, you know, the problem is the fans. No. So, with that in mind, I think some of these companies, I'm like, oh, it's cool. Make the game that you want to make. You know, maybe I don't, or same thing with TV as well. Like, I can't, there's so many shows that I would love to be able to watch. I mean, in theory, it's been a great few years for like fantasy, except I look at it and go, this is not what I'm into in terms of fantasy, but it is probably somebody else's wish. And good for them, you know? Like, if people want to watch fantasy soap operas or, very modern feeling fantasy or whatever it is, I think that's awesome for them. But I want to make sure that there's also shit that I like as well. And so one of the best ways for there to be things that you like is to make the things that you want to have, and then hopefully maybe there are other people out there that like the same things you do. And then you get together and you enjoy those together. And that's that. Tsunami-san said, yeah, not into zombie games, but I guess there are many, many are. Exactly, right? John says, or family-oriented orc enemies. Yeah, I mean, you know what? There are plenty of games now where you can, or shows where there are orcs, they're friendly, they have families, they've got stories. And that's cool, man. Good for the orcs finally getting, a different representation. But our orcs are just evil. They're just killing machines. There you go. What are your orcs like? They're killing machines. How many dragons will M&M have? As many as we can stuff in the game. And they will be varied and they will have different personalities. Some of the dragons may be friendly. See, that's where we're throwing you for a loop. Some dragons will be friendly. Just not our orcs. I really think some dragons... Will dragons have families? Yeah, we already have a dragon with a family in the game. And it even speaks to its family. Yeah, it calls out. It calls out to its brother. He calls out to his brother. Is he smart? He's pretty smart. His brother's going through a tough period. I really want to, and I guess, then why wouldn't we have it? You may even encounter a dragon in its human form. You may be talking to a dragon, or you may be talking to a god, and you don't even know it. Sense illusion spell needed. Ooh, better be high level, huh? You're liking the size of giants? That's one thing I liked about EQ2. The scale to mobs, like the dragons, giants were so massive. Right on. Glad we could get that one right. Did you see our giant wolves down there, Sna? No? I'll run down there in a minute. You'll see it. But I mean, that wasn't a controversial take, right? That wasn't anything weird. Hopefully it wasn't. It's on the internet forever now. I just, you know, again, for me, fantasy is like, even though our art style doesn't convey it, like our art style is not Frazetta. Our art style is not Boris Vallejo. But there's something in the spirit of that art, right? Like just gnarly muscle bound dudes killing the shit out of stuff, beautiful women. There's nothing wrong with that. Power fantasy, dark magic and evil enemies. M&M art styles what drew me to the game. Right on. I think we've done a great we've done a great job so far. Very proud of our guys. Art style should be David Sutherland. He's my fave from D&D first edition. Trying to picture something. LOL, I had your background and loved how you said beautiful women. Your voice dropped a good 4 to 6 decibels and you said nothing wrong with it. Hey, I don't know what to say. Got the spirit in me. David Sutherland. Art. Yeah, I was wondering if that was going to be it. Yeah, I love that old stuff. I thought so. Very first edition. Dude, that DM guide cover. The Paladin in Hell. Yep. All right, save this guy. First edition, so yeah, first edition Monster Manual cover. It looks like a medieval tapestry. Very charming. Yeah. And then the images in there are great. I think that was it was the first edition Monster Manual that had the succubus in there. That was like one of my favorite pictures as a kid. Eggnog season, baby. Let's get it. Safety first. I'm so jealous. That's one thing we really don't have here. Is the eggnog. So I'll hop down there and show you the wolf, since you didn't see him earlier. It's not. Where is he? Oh, there's one. I have tried making it. It's a lot of work. And Jasmine's made it, and it was good, but it turns out it's easy to make yourself in a blender. We had to do a lot of cooking and stuff. Here, I'll show you. Gnomes are pretty small, so yeah, there was a lot of like cooking to it, I thought. Like heating up the milk and stuff like that. So cast human illusion. See? pretty big. And then cast augury illusion. Looking like a mount to me, Zukin. Looking like a giant wolf puppy would be the mount. Do you take fall damage when a wolf or giant dies and falls on you? That'd be interesting. Corthan said the only reason why this stuff gets controversial is because it gets mutated from art into a very my way or the highway cultural mindset. It's weird. It's supposed to be very imaginative genre, but the screaming voices scream when it's not specific. Yeah, and that's the thing that I like to see, and I'm hoping we see that with our community. Is like everybody has been so chill so far. It's been so nice. And I'm hoping it just winds up being a thing where like people acknowledge like different games are different, and we just happen to have something that's a bit different from other things that are coming out at the same time. Like, even within the like small cluster of indie MMO, classically based indie MMOs, I feel like over the years we've gotten to a point where it's so each game has its distinct identity that it's made it even easier for us to coexist. Because you know, if you look at us, if you look at Evercraft, if you look at Pantheon, if you look at Embers Adrift, each of the games is different, and I think can very well appeal to different player types, or can appeal to the same player wanting different things on different days. And I think that's awesome. I think that's good. It's always a bummer when it devolves too much into like, oh, they're doing this, but you know, it's natural for it to happen in various communities, but it's not needed. If a game's doing something you don't like, then hopefully there's a game doing something you do like, especially if there are different games that are kind of close in proximity. And boom, then we've flooded the zone for you. Feel like ARPG enjoyers are doing really well right now, Sna said. Feel like there's a good seasonal cadence between a couple different games, so you can swap between them every month or so, if you like that initial season push. Yeah, that's very true. This period of Eminem, Pantheon, Ashes all have me super excited for the genre. It's like a new generation. That's a fun way to look at it. Yeah. We'll all continue, I think, hopefully contributing something different. And Safety First said, it's like Valorant and Counter-Strike. I love both games, have different reasons to play both and have a great time. Yeah, great example. Last time I was this excited for an MMO was Rift and it ended badly. Well, you talking about us? You're excited for us? That's pressure. Well, hopefully we don't fuck it up. I mean, one of the hardest parts of making this game is the fact that we don't have cash. One of the things that provides us with the most security is we don't have cash. So I mean, if we just had a few hundred people playing, then at least it would no longer be coming out of our pockets. We're currently just, you know, paying out of pocket, and the team's making big sacrifices with their time and opportunity cost, right? They could be doing other stuff with their time. And, you know, shelling out of pocket here and there for different little things. And yeah, so we don't need a big audience. We need a fraction of our Discord and we are in much better place than we were, you know, today. Does that make sense? And then we'll just see if it's growable. And to see if you guys got the patience. Patience to put up with us growing and getting all the contents made for you. Well, I appreciate that, G. Willikers. It would be cool, you know. It's one of those things. I'm not going to bullshit you and be like, oh well, you know. But it would be great. I personally, I kind of hope that more people find out about the game later in early access. What's your favorite landscape for fantasy games? Love snowy mountains and whatnot. Really enjoyed Velius, Wrath of the Lich King. I mean, I loved Kunark's environments. You know, that just jungles and deserts and things like that. I don't know. It's the cop-out answer is I love the variety, which I know is going to sound kind of silly since I've been showing you mostly desert for years. But I love the variety. I love just the idea of being in this world where you've got a desert with this kind of cool, badass. I mean, look at this place. It's badass. And then just being able to go over, you know, get on a boat and go through some islands. Next thing you know, you're, you know, yeah, in a jungle and then up into a mountain. You know, Velius, we were watching that video again the other day and it's like, what was the one zone? I think it was the zone that had the combine, the hidden combine area. And it was like, you go from like, was it? I don't think it was Dreadlands. I thought there was another place that had like, maybe it's Dreadlands, but I mean Dreadlands had it as well, right? Like Dreadlands had snow. Maybe I am thinking of Dreadlands. Snow down into the desert and stuff, and but there was another zone that it had like the giant combine wizard spires. Okay, for some reason I thought there was another like completely hidden. Let me look at the map. Yeah. What do I know about this silly game? I don't think that's it. Unless the Lost Valley is... Lost Valley's separate zone, right? Zones. That's tunnel, but it's in the same zone. Oh, is it? Okay. That's where I'm messing up then. Dreadlands. Yep. I'm thinking of Lost Valley. I am. I'm thinking of it. Coming up through here and then down. Yep. For some reason, I thought it was a separate zone. I forgot that it was just work your way through. Awesome. Yeah, so then absolutely Dreadlands. Oh my gosh. it's weird. Like we're talking about this, and I'm sitting here like having a weird nostalgia buzz for just grinding newbie experience in Field of Bone. And I'm thinking of like movies I watched, different times that I did that. I'm thinking about how amped I was when I got the cool helmet. Oh man, just a nostalgia buzz right now. It's like it makes me feel kind of warm and just it's like it's right up there with like Charlie Brown Christmas or Garfield Halloween or do you remember when they added the MP3 player into the game in Pop? When I heard certain songs, I can still picture entrance Sebastian of Thunder perfectly. Um, yeah, I remember. It's funny. I don't. It was one of those things that was super cool at the time, and now I look back and I'm kind of like, oh wow, yeah, I remember. I still listen to pop music sometimes while working. I was so happy to make Plane of Tranquility. I was so excited about the concept of a zone that had nothing in it except for that. I don't know. Just so cool at the time. Field of Bone was good, like Ville Omen, outside Carnors. That's what I was saying the other day. I'd be perfectly happy to just sit outdoors somewhere and chain pull mobs, shoot the shit with group build. I mean, that just that as a basis for a game. Right? I mean, that feeling of just sitting there, shooting the shit, pulling mobs, grinding is what inspired us to work on this. Dude, Treza Temple it was just an amazing zone. It was just impressive. Like getting like running around in there, it just felt cool. It was very scary. The little vacuum tubes that you go up and down were just so cool at the time. Yeah. It was really rad. Like so one of my early things that when I was an apprentice, basically they were just like I think it was Lawrence who had the Emperor. He was like, "Hey, do you want to do the basement?" That basically that was it. It was like, "Do you want to do the basement?" I was like, "Hell yeah." Uh yeah, that was the one in the gray, the vacuum zone. The snake temple. Yeah, it had a lot of cool lore. Basement is the best part of Shra. Nice. Thank you. I mean, the Emperor fight's cool too. Come on. But also gathering the strange green metal as key fragments from the name, bringing it all together to slay the big evil snake was such a good setting. Hey, if you're talking about the one in the basement, then I appreciate it. I I was freestyling that. I wasn't even a real game designer yet. I didn't even have it. I was an apprentice. I was a full-time apprentice. Curse Cycle and Undead Ixaris Save Cave, so good. Thank you. Yep. That's what helped get me a job on the team. You're very welcome, but I only did the basement. Everything above the basement was the rest of the guys. That was Lawrence, and I think Ryan did some stuff. Oh man, bless Lawrence. That was hilarious. My goddamn snake man won't move. That was hilarious. I can't get my snake man to move. You farmed Bane weapons down the basement? I think so. I think we threw that down in there, gathering up the materials for the Bane weapons. It was kind of cool. Yeah, okay, you needed a shards from basement, right on. Yeah, that was one of those things where I think Lawrence had already had the Bane weapon thing in mind, and was just like, hey, can you put those on those guys down there? Yep. Shra Temple is incredible. And then Blickstep said, I can't remember which guild got first imp kill. I don't remember either, dude. Love Luckin, underrated expansion in grand scheme. Oh, yours did. Yours did. Sorry. Yours did. I forget. Which guild were you in? Tell us all. Triton. Okay. I'm trying to find these volumes so I can turn them off while I'm working in here. There we go. There we go. Thank you, buddy. Oh, that's rad. I mean, it was fun watching the different guilds like push to try to get those world first. Pluto was a very cool zone as well. We'll draw some inspiration from Pollutal on in some of our deep zones, I think. Yeah, the guys that worked on Luckland, I think if that team would have been given like another, I think if that team would have had another 6 months and better project management, like better just sort of project leadership. Honestly, we, I guess, but I don't want to accept much of any of the credit for like the design of it. I was mainly just designing specific things when they handed me opportunities. But like I think the team, if they could have had like ship Luckland and then spent another year just working on Luckland, it would have been I think it could have been an incredible expansion. Like even more so. Is that the canonical pronunciation of Pluto? I believe so. My pronunciations of shit are the way I would say it out loud on the team and not get made fun of. So I'm assuming that they're correct. Because on that team, you would absolutely get made fun of if you didn't have it right. Isn't that true, Tom? The team was not shy about busting your balls. So it's not Pal Udall. I always said Pal Udall. I always said Paloodle. Paloodle. It's like a Palu. Paloodle. Tom said, I remember Lord Sarah didn't even have real items on his loot table. It was the whole like item of the sad exploiter. Well, that's because people exploited him. Also, probably because he wasn't finished being itemized. So it's maybe a little bit of both. If I gotta hear about Phoenix eggs one more time, Tom. Yeah, you'll have your opportunity to clear your name. Should get Paul, like after we do an interview with you, we should see if we can get Paul and you in the same interview. Paul, you, Ryan. Is it Blickstev, is it weird if I claim credit for you if I use your name in like the possessive for a moment? If I say Blickstev, I went from being an apprentice to being on the team to eventually having the opportunity to own my own apprentices like Blickstev here, who then went on to do many great things in the industry. It's the cycle of life. Yeah, I love to see my kids doing great things on their games. It's, man, it's weird. It goes by so fast. People I hired out of, yeah, I mean, that was like 20 years ago, Tom. Isn't that weird? '24. Oh, you're right. It has been. It's even longer. Oh, it's crazy. And it's kind of cool because it was such a rad opportunity to be able to work on a game like that, especially during the period like when it was kind of on top. But then not get stuck in like a Uncle Rico situation, you know what I mean? Like it really has never felt like I've really enjoyed working on EQ, but it's never felt like that was, you know, that was peak. It was just a really cool opportunity. Made some nice cash then, though, that's for sure. Shit. Always wanted to work at Blizzard growing up, but that dream got invalidated. Yeah. I think I got fortunate. I didn't have an opportunity to like I didn't know anything about Sony Online Entertainment or Variant at the time. I didn't know anything about it until I played EverQuest, and then I played EverQuest and went, "Yep, I absolutely got to work. I got to work on that game specifically." And then boom, went, had the opportunity to do it, and that was that. There wasn't a lot of like time spent dreaming or anything like that. But I was scared shitless about not making it, like not getting my opportunity. Super, super duper freaked out. There are definitely some sleepless nights. Stressful. Tom said, some of the things I found in this old drive are pretty rad. The quest I wrote to become an apprentice is even there. That's so badass, dude. I wish I actually have a ton of that stuff on in Dropbox, but I have no way because it's tied to like an old phone number, blah blah blah. And they've been ridiculous to try to work with. I have no way of accessing my old Dropbox, and yet they keep sending emails going, you need to upgrade your account or change your password or blah. I'm like, you fools won't let me in, man. I've got EverQuest history just sitting there rotting. Hey, Jasmine. You made that? Holy shit. All right. Well then. Add that to your list of skills. Yeah, you should be fairly pleased. That looks good. And it's a nicer shirt than some of the other stuff you're getting in your random, like, try out these shirts and stuff boxes. Wow, so Jasmine's discovered that she has an interest in sewing. And it was funny, the first thing she sewed. So she's very mechanically oriented, right? She's a dental surgeon, so there's a lot of like cutting in very small spaces, very precise. So we've determined that because of that, she's also an extremely good shot. So she's learned how to shoot very well. And then she started sewing. And the first thing she made was like, I was like, all right, well, this is pretty badass. Like really, you know, for a first try, kind of cool. But, you know, definitely in terms of stylistically or whatever, not necessarily something you would buy off the rack. Then she made this wallet kind of out of the blue. And I was like, this thing is insanely cool. And now she just walked in with like a long sleeve, like sweater shirt. What is it called? Mock neck. And like just came in with it. And I thought it was something she bought. And I was like, there's no way. Of course, she's just been working on that. That thing's badass, man. Fantastic. Wow. I think you should put it on. Me? Bruh. It's a wonderful shirt, babe. Let me Hulk out through it. Hulkamania the shirt. I don't think that's mean. Jasmine has become better at tailoring. 173 skill. Yeah, you've skipped ahead. Good job, babe. And when I'm done here, I'll look at it more. That's I was not expecting that. There's gonna be a moment when we hear Sean. Hey now. She already took it off. Oh, so she made her first starter shirt, a badass wallet, 2 sets of panties, or 2 pair of panties, and now this thing. I've been trying to convince her to make a pair of tactical panties. They'd have a hidden pocket for handcuff key, because like all the tactical belts and shit, they always have like you can hide a handcuff key. So hidden handcuff key pocket, molly strips around the top, so you can attach your various attachment, tourniquet holder, or whatever you need. Magazine holder, whatever, right? So we'll do that. Nice camouflage pattern. Quick release. I was thinking either snaps or just like one of those nice plastic buckles. Quick release. They need to have a parachute cord that holds a punch knife on them too. Maybe. It'll be one of those like thong tactical whip combos. One of those wire whips. Whoosh. If she does a good enough job on the panties, they will be a fire starter without needing to hide one in it. You are a poet. Maybe we do another doggo here. Why not? But I mean, you know, even if they're not fully, like, totally meant to be functional, I think they'd be a fun little meme product. What's going on here? Something happened in the background? No. Oh man, this place during a sandstorm is scary. But at least you'll be able to hear the giants. You got to put on your sandstorm goggles and push this out a little bit so you can see something. Decappy. It is about that time, right? We have passed the hour mark. Does Giantland have giant sandstorm monsters? Maybe. Decappy, hey, thanks for being here. Enjoy the rest of your Friday being productive. I'm gonna wrap up this guy right here. I wanna spawn this dude. I don't know why are you not moving? Interesting. Oh, there's every once in a while we get a weird bug. Let me go ahead and just hit save then. And it's like a gizmo. It's whatever bug. It just vase. Giant wolf. There we go. We'll hit save there. Yeah, I don't know. Like, you can no longer click on these dudes. And watch, I'll dump it. Disable. Cancel. Where other unsaved change? Save. I'm gonna disable. We'll bring it back, and then I think it'll still be bugged. So I gotta write that up. Yep. See, I can't select them. Weird. And so the only way I've found to really fix it is to kill the editor and bring it back up. So with that in mind, and with it being 11:10 p.m. my time, let's wrap up here. Let's wrap up. We'll be together again on Wednesday. Keep an eye out for other folks' streams. We've got folks streaming pretty regularly. If you're not aware, I'm going to go ahead and click this button so you can find them. And then if you're not in our Discord, hit us up in our Discord. And by the way, if you're not a part of our mailing list, you should join, because you never know, like, what if the Discord disappears one day? Speaking of which, what if Twitch disappears one of these days? Then we'll switch to OnlyFans or something. But we'll always hang out with you. We'll always find a way to hang out with you. Broken Stoic, thank you for being here. Corthan, you have a great one as well. Namu, good night. Glad you're here. Hey, Tech Rider. I don't know, were you in here the whole time? I was bragging about you earlier. Tech Rider, We haven't made you a moderator yet. We'll do that. We'll do that next time. Zukin. Hey. McAaron. There we go. Group SMS. That's how we'll do it. We'll start mailing those old school style, like one of the interactive ones. Bilbo. See ya, Justin Beard. Have a great weekend. Checked. See you. Bill. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks again for the chat on the zone earlier. I'm excited about it. Robert. See ya, buddy. I hope the pancakes were good. Say hello to the missus for me. It is fate. Good night. Kumadar, see you in Slack. Abominator, Double XL, you're very welcome. Thanks for being here. Good night, Robopoppet. Simon, see you, buddy. I'll see you in Slack. Here, I think I can just do it like this. All right. Tech Writer, you're modded now. Perfect. Yeah, you guys hop in Discord, hang out. Tupac, see ya. Monthly snail mail. That's not going to happen. Quixana, thanks for hanging out with us. Chronos Zero, good night. Liz. Liz is going to be streaming more Lace tomorrow. If you want a very relaxing stream, you should follow Liz as well. All right. I'm going to wrap up and I'm going to push the button and then I will see you guys next week. Thanks again for being here. Have a wonderful weekend. See you in